17 black actresses who had gay children. Behind the wealth, trophies, hit records, and red carpet smiles, some of America's most famous black families faced a revelation that changed their relationships forever. Their children stepped forward as gay, bisexual, sexually fluid, or transgender. And the reactions were not always simple. Some parents responded with immediate love, others needed time to confront deeply rooted expectations, while a few allowed fear and prejudice to create painful divisions. But which families became powerful examples of acceptance, and which stories remain complicated today? Stay with us as Golden Black Legends uncovers 17 verified journeys without rumors or fabricated scandals. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and tell us in the comments, should parents be judged by their first reaction or by what they choose to do afterward? Jada Pinkett Smith and Willow Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith and her daughter Willow Smith represent one of Hollywood's most publicly discussed stories of a parent learning to embrace a child's evolving identity. Born on October 31, 2000, Willow grew up surrounded by fame, yet she refused to let the Smith family name dictate how she should live or love. Her breakthrough single, Whip My Hair, made her a global star at only 10, but adulthood brought more personal revelations. During a June 2019 episode of Red Table Talk, Willow explained that she loved men and women equally and could imagine herself in a polyamorous relationship involving both. Contrary to some exaggerated reports, she did not simply announce "I am bisexual." Her actual comments were more nuanced and reflected her desire to understand love beyond conventional labels. In April 2021, Willow returned to the program to discuss polyamory, describing it as the freedom to build an honest relationship structure, instead of automatically following monogamy. Jada listened without condemnation and said she understood her daughter's reasoning as long as everyone involved communicated their intentions clearly. That reaction became significant because Willow was discussing her choices directly with her mother and grandmother before a worldwide audience. Their conversation was not evidence of a hidden family tragedy, nor is there reliable proof that Willow's openness caused explosive arguments between Jada and Will Smith. What is documented is a mother-daughter relationship based on unusually candid dialogue. Jada has allowed Willow to question inherited expectations about femininity, marriage, and personal freedom, even when those discussions attracted criticism. Willow has since matured into an artist known for alternative rock, experimental pop, and fearless self-expression. Their story fits this subject not because it offers scandal, but because it demonstrates how listening can turn a potentially difficult revelation into a deeper connection between a mother and her child. Gabrielle Union and Zaya Wade. Gabrielle Union and Zaya Wade's relationship has become an influential example of how a step-parent can protect and affirm a transgender child under intense public scrutiny. Zaya was born on May 29, 2007 to retired NBA champion Dwyane Wade and his former wife Siobhan Funches. Gabrielle, who married Dwyane in August 2014, is therefore Zaya's stepmother, not her biological mother, as some misleading videos have suggested. Nevertheless, the bond they developed grew far beyond a technical family title. In February 2020, Dwyane publicly shared that the then 12-year-old wanted to be known as Zaya and use she, her pronouns. Gabrielle responded by introducing Zaya to her followers as compassionate, intelligent, and inspiring. Rather than speaking over the teenager, the couple emphasized that they were listening, learning, and giving her room to express herself. Their support did not mean the journey was free of controversy. Zaya faced widespread online attacks while a legal disagreement arose over her requested name and gender marker changes. In February 2023, a Los Angeles judge granted legal recognition of her name, Zaya Malachi Iramis Wade, and affirmed her female gender marker. Only weeks later, Zaya made her runway debut for Miu Miu during Paris Fashion Week with Gabrielle and Dwyane proudly watching from the front row. Her growing fashion career later included campaigns and magazine features, but her influence extended beyond clothing. In 2024, Zaya and her father launched Translatable, an online platform intended to provide resources and a supportive community for transgender young people and their families. Gabrielle has also helped Zaya navigate beauty, textured hair, and confidence as a young black woman. Their story should not be framed as a shocking family secret. It is a documented account of a stepmother using her visibility to defend her child's dignity while encouraging her to speak in her own voice. Tammy, Roman, and Jazz Anderson. Tammy, Roman, and Jazz Anderson's story is not a polished tale of instant understanding. It is a more honest account of discomfort, difficult conversations, and a mother learning that loving her daughter also meant questioning expectations she had carried for decades. Jazz, born on June 29, 1996, is the daughter of Tammy and former NBA player Kenny Anderson. Although audiences initially knew her through her famous parents, she eventually established her own voice as a rapper, media personality, and co-host of the Fox Soul program The Mix. In October 2020, Jazz publicly identified as bisexual while discussing her private life on the show. She explained that she had been attracted to both women and men and wanted to speak openly instead of allowing other people to define her. The disclosure brought encouragement from many viewers, but it also forced a complicated family conversation into public view. Tammy later admitted that her first response was emotional. Speaking with transgender media personality T.S. Madison in 2021, she acknowledged crying because Jazz's revelation did not match the future she had imagined for her daughter. Madison challenged Tammy to recognize that a parent's personal blueprint should never become a cage for a child. Rather than pretending she had always understood everything, Tammy accepted that she needed education and growth. Their relationship continued evolving. Tammy clarified that some later tension concerned Jazz's particular relationship and its emotional instability, not simply her bisexuality. Jazz, meanwhile, remained willing to discuss both her mother's flaws and their enduring bond. Their candid exchanges revealed that acceptance can be a process rather than one flawless reaction. This pairing belongs in the story because neither woman hides the uncomfortable stages. Jazz claimed ownership of her identity, while Tammy demonstrated that parents can confront inherited beliefs without abandoning their children. Their journey is not about scandal. It is about two strong personalities, choosing communication over silence and preserving love while both continue to mature. Cynthia Bailey and Noelle Robinson. Cynthia Bailey and Noelle Robinson turned an ordinary car conversation into one of the most meaningful moments ever shown on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Noelle, born on November 9, 1999, is Cynthia's only child with actor Leon Robinson. She spent part of her childhood appearing beside her mother on reality television, but entering Howard University gave her the freedom to explore life beyond the carefully controlled world of cameras, fashion events, and celebrity expectations. During an episode broadcast on November 10, 2019, Cynthia asked whether Noelle was interested in men and women. Noelle replied that she did not enjoy placing people inside rigid categories. She described herself as sexually fluid and explained that she was attracted to individuals rather than limiting herself according to gender. The scene was calm and remarkably free of manufactured outrage. Cynthia responded that she wanted her daughter to be happy and able to share her life without fear. Noelle later revealed that she had initially worried about discussing such a personal subject on television. After the episode aired, however, she called the decision one of the best she had made. Although supportive messages arrived from viewers and several RHOA cast members, hateful reactions also followed. Cynthia said the hostility broke her heart, but she regarded the conversation as one of her proudest moments from the series. While studying at Howard, Noelle began a relationship with YouTube personality Alexis Powell, whom she met shortly after arriving on campus. They dated for approximately 2 years before confirming their separation in 2020. Since then, Noelle has become more private about romance while developing work in modeling, digital media, and entertainment. Their story should not be distorted into a reluctant mother being publicly embarrassed. Cynthia never treated Noelle's identity as damage to the family image. Instead, she made clear that motherhood required creating a safe place where her daughter could speak honestly. In an industry built around conflict, their quiet exchange delivered something far more memorable: trust. Erwin Magic Johnson and Erwin E.J. Johnson III. Erwin Magic Johnson and his son Erwin E.J. Johnson III share a journey that unfolded under the enormous weight of an internationally recognized family name. E.J. was born on June 4, 1992, to Magic and Erletha Cookie Johnson. His childhood included extraordinary privilege, but wealth could not shield him from the fear of rejection or the discrimination faced by a young black gay man. Long before the public knew, E.J. had spoken privately with his family about his sexuality. Magic later acknowledged that he needed time to examine his expectations. As a legendary athlete whose identity had been shaped by basketball and traditional ideas of masculinity, he had imagined his son following a familiar path. Yet the central question soon became more important than any expectation. Would EJ know that his father still loved him? Magic and Cookie ultimately made their support unmistakable, even as Cookie discussed reconciling the revelation with her religious upbringing. In 2013, photographs of EJ holding hands with a male friend brought his private life into international headlines. Then, 20 years old and attending New York University, EJ refused to retreat. He publicly confirmed that he was gay and said he could only live as himself. Magic responded by standing firmly beside his son and later advised other parents not to decide who their children should become. EJ transformed unwanted attention into a television and fashion career. He appeared on Rich Kids of Beverly Hills beginning in 2014 and received his own series EJ NYC in 2016. His gender-fluid wardrobe challenged narrow expectations, but EJ has consistently identified as a gay man rather than a transgender woman, an important distinction frequently misrepresented online. Today, their bond represents visible black fatherly acceptance on a global platform. Magic did more than issue one statement. He celebrated EJ, publicly attended events with him, and repeatedly praised his courage. Their story proves that a parent's greatest legacy may not be championships or business success, but giving a child the confidence to enter the world without hiding. Marlon Wayans and Kai Wayans. Marlon Wayans and Kai Wayans offer one of the most candid accounts of a father adjusting when his child comes out as transgender. Kai, born in May 2000 and previously publicly known as Amai, is Marlon's eldest child with Angela Zachary. In November 2023, Marlon revealed that Kai had changed his name and pronouns. He did not portray himself as a parent who understood everything immediately. Instead, he described his own movement from ignorance and denial toward unconditional acceptance. Marlon emphasized that the most important transition for his comedy material was not Kai's, but his own transformation as a father. At first, he struggled to release the identity and future he had imagined for his child. He made mistakes with names and pronouns and passed through emotions he later compared to stages of grief. However, he said the difficult period lasted roughly a week and that he grew more during those days than at almost any other point in his life. By 2024, Marlon was discussing the experience in his stand-up special, Good Grief, with Kai's permission. He used humor to examine parental confusion while keeping the central message unmistakable. Kai's happiness mattered more than public approval. On The Jennifer Hudson Show, Marlon explained that Kai remained the same beloved person, joking that the most visible difference was now a beard. His commitment became even more public in 2025 when Kai was targeted with transphobic insults during Marlon's dispute with rapper Soulja Boy. The comedian immediately defended his son and made clear that losing intolerant fans would never weaken his support. During a conversation with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson, he again promised to protect, respect, and love Kai regardless of anyone else's judgment. This is not a story about a child shocking a celebrity household. It is about a father choosing growth over pride. Marlon's honesty gives other parents permission to admit uncertainty, while his actions establish the standard that truly matters. Confusion can be temporary, but a child's dignity should never be negotiable. Sade Adu and Izaak Adu. Sade Adu and her son, Izaak Adu have built their relationship largely away from celebrity spectacle, making the moments they have shared publicly especially meaningful. Izaak was born on July 21, 1996 to Sade and Jamaican music producer Bob Morgan. Raised primarily in the English countryside, he experienced a quieter childhood than many children of global music stars. Nevertheless, understanding his gender identity became a deeply personal journey that he eventually chose to share with the world. In 2016, Izaak publicly identified as a transgender man. His transition attracted attention because his mother was one of the most private and respected singers of her generation. Sade did not turn her son's experience into publicity or attempt to narrate it for him. Instead, she supported him privately while allowing Izaak to control what he disclosed. In 2009, after spending approximately 6 months recovering from gender-affirming surgery, Izaak posted an emotional message thanking his mother. He praised Sade for staying beside him, encouraging him during painful moments, and fighting with him so he could become the man he knew himself to be. Sade answered in her characteristically understated way, sharing their bond without transforming it into a media campaign. The story reached another artistic milestone in October 2024 when Sade released Young Lion, her first new song in 6 years, written for Izaak and included on the benefit compilation. Transa. The track carried an intimate message of parental reflection, regret, and enduring devotion. Rather than presenting herself as a perfect mother, Sade used music to acknowledge the moments when her son may have needed greater understanding. Izaak has since pursued creative work and modeling while speaking on his own terms. Their relationship stands apart because it is built upon restraint, not sensationalism. Sade's support was expressed through presence, protection, and eventually song. Behind one of music's most recognizable voices was a mother listening carefully to her son and giving him the space to discover his own. Tuki Smith and Aaron De Niro. Tuki Smith and Aaron De Niro's relationship entered public conversation in 2025 when Aaron chose to introduce herself to the world as a black transgender woman. Aaron was born on October 20, 1995, alongside her twin brother Julian during Tuki's long-term relationship with actor Robert De Niro. Tuki, a successful model and actress known for 227, and Robert deliberately kept the twins outside Hollywood's relentless spotlight. That privacy shaped Aaron's upbringing. In her first major interview published by them in April 2025, she rejected the assumption that celebrity parents had automatically handed her an entertainment career. Aaron explained that her mother and father wanted both children to experience as normal a childhood as possible. Although no parent is perfect, she expressed gratitude that they protected her from becoming a public product before she could define herself. Aaron initially understood herself as a gay man, but later realized that description did not fully reflect who she was. She began hormone therapy in November 2024 and subsequently came forward as a transgender woman. Her transition was influenced not by Hollywood pressure, but by years of personal reflection and the visibility of black women and transgender women online. She described embracing her womanhood and blackness as connected parts of finally feeling seen. Tuki did not issue a theatrical statement or exploit her daughter's disclosure. Aaron's own testimony that both parents valued her privacy provides the clearest evidence of their approach. Robert separately affirmed that he loved and supported Aaron, but her bond with Tuki remains especially important. Aaron has spoken about wanting to appear on a future magazine cover beside her mother, whose modeling career helped create possibilities for black women. now interested in acting, modeling, and becoming a mental health counselor. Erin wants to represent queer people of color without being reduced to her surname. Her story with Tuki is therefore not about a sudden transformation. It is about a protected daughter finally choosing visibility on her own terms. Khary Payton and Carter Payton. Khary Payton and his son, Carter, showed how a parent can support a transgender child without taking control of the child's story. Khary, widely recognized as King Ezekiel on The Walking Dead and as the voice of Cyborg in numerous DC productions, introduced Carter publicly in June 2020. The announcement arrived during Pride Month, but it was not a publicity decision made by an actor or publicist. According to Khary, Carter specifically asked his father to share the news. Carter was 11 years old when Khary explained that his child had been assigned female at birth but had always identified as a boy. Carter selected his own name, choosing Carter with a K, partly because it resembled his father's name. That seemingly small decision reflected something larger. He was defining himself while preserving a visible connection to his family. Before posting, Khary warned Carter that public attention could bring both encouragement and cruelty. Carter reportedly answered that sharing his experience could help other young people who were frightened to speak. His response impressed Khary, who described him as one of the happiest and most well-adjusted individuals he knew. Instead of framing his son as confused or tragic, the actor presented Carter as confident, informed, and compassionate. The timing carried additional weight. In 2020, transgender children were increasingly becoming targets of political debate and online hostility. Khary's statement offered a contrasting image: a black father listening to his child, respecting his chosen identity, and standing visibly beside him. Reliable reporting does not support invented scenes of family conflict, secret medical procedures, or emotional breakdowns. The documented story is powerful without embellishment. Carter asked to be seen, and Khary helped him speak while preparing to absorb the criticism that might follow. Their pairing demonstrates that supportive parenting does not require a celebrity to possess every answer. It requires attention, honesty, and courage. Khary did not announce what he wanted Carter to become. He introduced the son who had already told him exactly who he was. Cheryl, Coko, Gamble, and Jaya, Michael. Cheryl, Coko, Gamble, and her son, Jay. Michael share a bond shaped by music, faith, and unusually direct communication. Coko became internationally known as the lead singer of SWV, whose 1990s hits included Week Right Here and Rain. Away from sold-out performances, she raised two sons, including Jay, her younger child from her marriage to drummer and producer Big Mike Clemens. Jay eventually came out as gay, but Coko refused to treat his sexuality as a devastating family revelation. During a 2021 question and answer video, she was asked whether accepting him had been difficult. Her response was straightforward: she had no problem accepting that her son was gay. Coko explained that Jay was still her child and that his sexuality did not give her a reason to reject or dislike him. Her position was particularly noteworthy because Coko has spoken openly about her Christian faith. Rather than using religion to create distance between herself and her son, she separated personal belief from the responsibility to love him. She also acknowledged that other relatives needed more time to understand, revealing that acceptance within an extended family is not always immediate or uniform. Jay has developed his own artistic identity as a singer, model, and creative personality. Instead of remaining simply Coco's son, he has appeared in interviews, created online content, and performed with his mother. In 2024, their rendition of Atlantic Stars always displayed both their vocal compatibility and genuine affection. The performance felt less like a publicity strategy than a natural extension of a relationship already visible to their followers. Their story contains no credible evidence of secret payments, forced silence, or a dramatic confrontation. Its emotional strength comes from the opposite. Jay did not have to disappear to protect his mother's career. Coko allowed faith, motherhood, and acceptance to coexist. Together, they offer a valuable example within Black R&B culture. A celebrated singer used her voice not to speak over her gay son, but to make certain he knew that neither public opinion nor religious pressure could erase his place in her family. D.L. Hughley and Ryan Nicole Shepherd. D.L. Hughley and Ryan Nicole Shepherd's relationship illustrates how difficult family conversations can become even more complicated when a parent earns a living by discussing private experiences in public. Ryan is D.L.'s eldest daughter with his wife LaDonna Hughley. She grew up while her father was becoming a nationally recognized comedian, radio personality, and one of the original kings of comedy. But their connection was not always as effortless as audiences might have assumed. D.L. has spoken publicly about a daughter being afraid to tell him she was involved with a woman. He admitted that his forceful personality and past jokes may have made honesty feel unsafe, even though he believed he would accept his child. That realization forced him to confront an uncomfortable contradiction. A father may think he is approachable while his behavior communicates something entirely different. Online articles frequently attach this story specifically to Ryan, although she has not built a public identity around a fixed LGBTQ+ label. She later married Alejandro Shepherd and became a mother. But marriage to a man does not automatically establish or erase a person's past attractions. A responsible account should therefore avoid declaring her exclusively gay or inventing details about her private relationships. Ryan has been more candid about another dimension of their history. In 2023, she acknowledged that her relationship with D.L. had been tumultuous for years. Becoming a parent herself and watching her father bond with her daughter Noelle helped them begin repairing old wounds. Their reconciliation was not based on pretending the pain never happened, but on allowing a new generation to create opportunities for healing. This pairing belongs in the discussion because it exposes the distance that can exist between parental intention and a child's lived experience. D.L. believed love was understood. Ryan needed emotional safety to feel it. Their story reminds parents that acceptance cannot remain an assumption. It must be demonstrated clearly enough that a child never fears honesty. Isaiah Thomas and Zeke Thomas. Isaiah Thomas and Zeke Thomas share a father-son relationship that connects professional basketball, LGBTQ+ visibility, and deeply personal advocacy. Zeke grew up as the son of a Detroit Pistons icon whose relentless playing style produced 2 NBA championships, a Finals MVP award, and eventual induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Yet instead of pursuing his father's career, Zeke built an independent identity through music, nightlife, and activism. Zeke is openly gay and has discussed the importance of being both black and queer in industries where acceptance has not always been guaranteed. His father did not ask him to hide. In 2010, Isaiah and Zeke appeared together in the NOH8 campaign, a visual protest against discrimination and efforts to deny marriage equality. Their participation sent a meaningful message. One of basketball's most recognizable black fathers was prepared to stand visibly beside his gay son. Zeke later became a professional DJ and music producer. In 2014, he was selected as the official DJ for events surrounding the NBA All-Star Game in New Orleans, bringing his career into the same sporting world that had made his father famous. However, his most consequential public work emerged from experiences far more painful than celebrity pressure. In 2017, Zeke revealed that he had survived sexual assault twice, first when he was 12 and again as an adult. He explained that he delayed telling his family because he struggled to understand what had happened. Isaiah and the rest of the family found the disclosures devastating, but Zeke used his experience to challenge the damaging belief that men, including gay men, should remain silent about sexual violence. Their story is not valuable merely because a famous athlete has a gay son. It matters because Isaiah's visible acceptance gave Zeke space to develop his own voice. Zeke then used that freedom to advocate for survivors and LGBTQ+ people, turning a celebrated surname into a platform for conversations extending far beyond basketball. Robert Stafford and Lil Nas X. Robert Stafford and Lil Nas X have navigated faith, fame, and sexuality through a relationship that has repeatedly been tested in public. Lil Nas X was born Montero Lamar Hill on April 9, 1999 in Lithia Springs, Georgia. After his parents separated, he spent several years living with his mother and grandmother before moving in with Stafford, a gospel singer who provided greater structure during Montero's adolescence. That religious environment made understanding his sexuality complicated. Lil Nas X later admitted that as a teenager, he prayed his attraction to men would disappear. He initially intended to carry the secret for life, partly because he recognized that homosexuality remained heavily stigmatized in both black church culture and hip-hop. Everything changed after Old Town Road became a record-breaking international phenomenon in 2019. Montero first told his sister and father. On June 30th, the final day of Pride Month, he publicly came out as gay by directing listeners toward the lyrics of C7 Osher and the rainbow imagery on his 7 EP artwork. The announcement made him one of the most visible, openly gay black artists in mainstream rap and country crossover music. Stafford's journey was not presented as perfectly effortless, but he ultimately chose his son over social pressure. When Lil Nas X faced condemnation for the provocative Montero Call Me By Your Name video in 2021, Stafford publicly praised its creativity and encouraged him to live on his own terms. He has since defended Montero against personal attacks and emphasized that parental love does not disappear because of sexual orientation. Their bond has endured career controversies and the psychological weight of sudden global fame. Stafford cannot shield his son from every judgment, but he has repeatedly appeared when Montero needed family support. Their story shows a gospel-raised father and gay superstar refusing to let different perspectives destroy their connection. Acceptance in their case became not a single announcement, but a commitment repeatedly tested by the world outside their family. Tammy Rivera and Charlie Williams. Tammy Rivera and Charlie Williams brought an intimate mother-daughter conversation into public view through the reality series Waka and Tammy What the Flocka. Charlie, Tammy's daughter from a previous relationship, was raised in a blended family after rapper Waka Flocka Flame became a central father figure in her life. Despite growing up around cameras, Charlie's feelings about identity and relationships remained hers to reveal. During the show's second season in 2021, Charlie told Tammy that she had feelings for a girl. Tammy's first instinct was not completely polished. Like many parents, she had imagined a particular future for her daughter and briefly considered whether she should redirect her. She later realized that trying to change Charlie's feelings could damage the trust between them. Tammy chose to listen, giving her daughter room to decide who she wanted to date. The family's response became even more visible around Charlie's 15th birthday celebration. Her girlfriend accompanied her to the event and Walker publicly accepted the relationship. Some viewers questioned his reaction because he had previously made offensive remarks about Zaya Wade. That criticism was legitimate, but it did not erase Charlie's own experience of receiving support inside her home. Tammy subsequently explained that parenting required balancing guidance with respect. She wanted Charlie to avoid unhealthy relationships regardless of whether the person involved was male or female. Her concerns were focused on her daughter's emotional well-being rather than treating same-sex attraction as something shameful. Charlie has not needed to turn her sexuality into the sole focus of her public identity. She has explored music, fashion, and life beyond reality television while maintaining a close connection with her mother. Their story is meaningful because Tammy did not pretend to have an immediate, perfectly worded response. She paused, reconsidered her assumptions, and protected the relationship. For Charlie, being honest did not result in exile or silence. For Tammy, motherhood meant understanding that safeguarding a child's future also includes respecting the person that child is becoming. Andrea Kelly and Jay Kelly. Andrea Kelly and her daughter, Jay Kelly, share a story about identity that cannot be accurately reduced to a single label or one moment of coming out. Jada was born in 2000 to Drea and R&B singer R. Kelly. Growing up within a family surrounded by fame and controversy made privacy difficult, yet Jada eventually chose to discuss her own experiences independently of her father's public legacy. At approximately 14, Jada publicly identified as a transgender boy and used the name Jay. Several outlets reported the announcement as if her identity had been permanently settled. Years later, Jada explained that her understanding had evolved. By 18, she no longer identified as a transgender man and described herself as a lesbian who knew she was attracted to women. She rejected the idea that outsiders had the right to force a permanent definition upon her. In a 2010 interview with Paper, Jada said she had struggled with internalized homophobia. At one stage, she believed that being attracted to girls meant she had to be a boy. The confusion contributed to severe depression and a period of psychiatric hospitalization. Rather than treating that painful experience as evidence that Jada's identity was invalid, Drea gave her daughter room to continue understanding herself. Khary recalled her mother responding with unconditional reassurance, telling her that she would remain loved, whether she identified as bisexual, gay, lesbian, or something else. Drea's acceptance became especially important because Jada already carried the burden of public judgment connected to her family. Jada later explored music and visual creativity while maintaining control over what she revealed. Their relationship demonstrates why responsible storytelling must respect personal evolution. Drea did not demand that her daughter select one identity and defend it forever. She provided a stable place from which Jada could question, reconsider, and ultimately describe herself in her own words. Their story is not about inconsistency, it is about a young woman being allowed to grow without losing her mother's love. Michael Jackson and Paris Jackson. Michael Jackson and Paris Jackson's story requires careful handling because Paris publicly discussed her sexuality years after her father's death. Paris Michael Catherine Jackson was born on April 3, 1998, during Michael's marriage to nurse Debbie Rowe. Michael raised Paris alongside her brothers Prince and Biggie, frequently shielding their faces from cameras in an effort to give them privacy despite his extraordinary fame. Michael died on June 25, 2009, when Paris was 11. Therefore, no modern interview or social media post can establish how he would have reacted to every label she later considered. However, Paris has personally recalled that her father noticed her attraction to girls when she was young. According to her, Michael responded playfully rather than harshly, teasing her about female crushes in much the same way he teased her brothers. That recollection, not anonymous speculation, is the strongest available evidence of his attitude. Paris said she came out to people close to her at approximately 14. In her 2020 Facebook Watch series, she explained that she had dated more women than men and often used gay as a convenient description. She also rejected bisexual as too restrictive because attraction for her was based on the individual rather than a simple division between men and women. In 2021, she acknowledged that the Jackson family's religious traditions sometimes made conversations about homosexuality lonely and uncomfortable. Her relationships with men do not invalidate those statements. Paris dated musician Gabrielle Glenn and later became engaged to music producer Justin Long in 2024. Sexual identity is not determined solely by a person's current partner. Their pairing belongs in this story because Paris's own memories challenge claims that Michael rejected or punished her. Still, honesty demands restraint. He was not alive when she spoke publicly, so his response cannot be rewritten into a dramatic modern scene. What remains is Paris's testimony that her father recognized something within her early and allowed affection, humor, and family connection to continue. Boosie Bad Ace and Iviona Poison Ivy Hatch. Boosie Bad Ace and his daughter, Iviona Poison Ivy Hatch, represent the most conflicted relationship in this collection. Iviona Boosie's eldest daughter followed him into hip-hop and developed her own career under the name Poison Ivy. She also publicly identified as a lesbian, creating a painful collision between her truth and her father's long history of controversial statements about LGBTQ+ people. Boosie acknowledged learning about Iviona's sexuality, but his response was far from complete acceptance. He said he still loved his daughter, while also admitting that he struggled because of his religious and cultural beliefs. In a widely criticized 2024 interview, he stated that Iviona could not bring her girlfriend into his home because he feared her relationship might contaminate her younger siblings. His words drew immediate condemnation. Iviona responded directly. She explained that she had repeatedly defended her father despite his public remarks, but felt he cared more about discussing her sexuality online than understanding her feelings privately. She rejected the suggestion that being lesbian could negatively influence her siblings and revealed that some of his comments had caused lasting emotional pain. Her response was not gossip. It was her own public account of their fractured communication. Their relationship did not simply end there. On March 1st, 2026, Boosie released the 11-track collaborative album Iviona and Pops, featuring Poison Ivy throughout the project. Songs and accompanying videos showed father and daughter working together again. The collaboration suggests that they rebuilt at least part of their personal and creative connection, but it should not automatically be presented as proof that Boosie abandoned all his previous beliefs. Neither music nor family affection erases the harm Iviona described. Their story is compelling because it remains unresolved and imperfect. Iviona refused to hide either her sexuality or her hurt, while Boosie maintained a relationship with the daughter whose identity challenged him. Reconciliation may have begun through music, but genuine acceptance requires more than recording together. It requires listening, respect, and lasting change. These 17 families prove that coming out does not create just one predictable story. For some, honesty strengthened an already loving bond. For others, acceptance arrived only after confusion, painful arguments, or years of personal growth. And in a few cases, affection continued even while damaging beliefs remained unresolved. The central question is not whether every parent reacted perfectly in the first moment, but whether they listened, learned, and protected their child's dignity afterward. Do you believe parents deserve time to change, or should unconditional acceptance begin immediately? Which family's journey moved you most, and which reaction disappointed you? Share your opinion respectfully in the comments. If you value verified stories without fake news, subscribe to Golden Black Legends and join us for more unforgettable journeys behind the fame.